Well, we've got another drone from the BlackHawk 2 series, the BlackHawk 2 Pro. For our first flight out, we're going to take it out, see how it does. Let's go. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. It's really good to see you. If this is your first time here, my name is Keith and this is Alien Drones. I do mostly tech, drones, photography, tips and tutorials, and industry news. Of course, if something that's of interest, you may want to click that subscribe because boy, there's a lot of cool stuff going on for this BlackHawk 2 series drone, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a one. As I mentioned, today we are talking about the BlackHawk 2 Pro. Now this thing is a tank. It is not below 250 grams. It is just really heavy in the hand, feels really, really nice actually. So we're gonna take it up, take it around. We're gonna do some basic functions on it, see what the video looks like, see some pictures look like. And of course, we're gonna check out some of the smart functions too, but first, I wanna let you know what the specs are. So of course, it has 4K 30 video. It does have a 48 megapixel camera, has internal and external SD cards both. That's pretty unusual, so you can use either one, the internal or put an external one in as well. Has a 35-minute flight time. Now that's a lot for a drone that's this heavy, but of course with that heavy, we're gonna gain a lot of wind resistance with it as well. So there's a lot of people around here today. There's like schools are off or something, so there's buses full of people. So if you hear some people, we captured a couple of kids who were just enjoying the heck out of watching do this video. So if you hear that, that's what it's about. And of course, we got the lawnmower guy. It never seems to fail when I come in this area. The lawnmower guy has got to run around, do circles around me, so that's okay. We'll do the best we can as well. Now, in addition, this does have full obstacle avoidance, has front sensors, rear sensors, and downward sensors. And with that obstacle avoidance, it also has path detection or path planning. So if you're going towards something and it sees you and you have the obstacle avoidance turned on and you're trying to go forward, like in a follow mode, for instance, it will not only just stop and sense that there's an obstacle, but it will actually turn and try to navigate its way around it. So pretty impressive stuff. Now we're not going to do that intensive follow with the obstacle avoidance in this video. It would just get too long. We're going to do a separate video for that, so make sure watch for those so when I do those follow type videos that you can catch those. It also says that it has a 5-mile range. They have their own proprietary transmission protocol. So of course we can't take it out 5 miles, but we'll take it out to visual line of sight, see if it drops off or does anything like that. And of course it has precision GPS and has a pretty cool thing, which is the landing pad search. So when it's coming down, it actually searches for the pad. And then when it sees the pad, it will come down and try to land right on it and navigate itself towards the pad. So we've got that out here. We'll give that a try as well. So of course, first we're going to do a regular compass calibration. Then we're going to do a gyro calibration, make sure everything looks good there before we take off. Now, if you saw the other video that I did with the EXO Mini Pro, the video did not come on until we were like a meter or so off the ground. Now this one actually has a fan that's on the bottom and running while it's sitting here. Probably turns off while you're actually moving. But to keep it cool, it does that because they didn't have to worry about the weight so much. So because of that, the video comes on right away. This is a pretty typical calibration of how you do that. Go ahead, horizontal and vertical. And then we're going to do the gyro just to make sure we get that gimbal centered as good as we can. But it does look pretty good right here, right now. Let's go ahead and do a gyro calibration first. There we go. All right, so video started, so let's go ahead and take it around here and see what it looks like. We have this completely in automatic mode right now because we don't want to change it into manual, although normally I would indeed put it in a manual mode so that we could adjust things like the ISO and the shutter speed and all things like that. But of course, now in this case, we're not going to. So just like if you guys were to take it out of the box, let's just see what it does. Let's kind of come back towards myself here. Gimbal down. There we are. So you guys tell me what that video looks like in the comments here. What do you think about the video coming out of the BlackHawk 2 Pro? Go ahead and make another round here. And right about there, about that 1,000-foot mark is kind of where I start losing visual line of sight. But again, we don't have any pixelation or anything goofy like that. So I think we're going to kind of just turn around and come back and do a couple of the functions to see what those look like. We go ahead and we'll go into fast mode, which is the expert mode. Come back here, see what that speed looks like against the wind here. You see we're at just 35 miles an hour, just over 35 miles an hour right now. So let's just go ahead and do a couple of the normal modes. Those are under the normal here. We're going to go ahead and do, let's say, orbit mode, for instance. Let's go ahead and get positioned. And there we are in the picture. So the orbit is starting here, and we can go ahead and change the speed up and down as well here. So let's hide this so we can see it, and there we are in the center of the picture. Looks really good. There we go, so let's go ahead and stop that. There we go. All right, perfect. So now let's go ahead and do a follow mode, see what it looks like. Okay, so we have two different types of follow mode. We have a follow mode, which is from the satellite, and then we have the active track, which is really nice. Now the follow me follows the GPS on the remote, and the active track, of course, follows a person, so you can actually draw on the screen. So we're going to go ahead and do that because that is the nicest type of follow that we're going to be able to do. This does have the obstacle avoidance with the path follow. Today we're just going to do a basic test to make sure that it can still navigate around some items and see how that goes. Of course, you can see we are pitching in the wind quite a bit. So from what I can tell, the obstacle avoidance did its thing. Seemed to avoid me every time, made me a little nervous a couple times. But you guys let me know in the comments, what do you think of that obstacle avoidance in combination with a follow? That will be really cool to see. So let's go ahead and do an automated return to home. And something that I want to try here is we want to make sure we turn on this search for landing pad and see if I can find it. The sun's coming out here, so hopefully it should be okay. So let's go ahead and do a return to home on this battery here and see what it does. So you can see where this came down here. It did indeed hit the pad. That search for landing pad did work kind of cool. Actually, it came around, found it, and rotated around. So it did a pretty nice job. We also did that on the EXO Mini Pro as well, and it seemed to do a pretty good job. So I think it has to be a really good lighting conditions if you have a really dim, or if, of course if you don't have a landing pad. But you know what? It does like it. It does do a really good job, so kudos to that. So that was the initial flight of the BlackHawk 2 Pro. I think it did a pretty good job. You guys let me know in the comments what you think it did, how the video looked, how the functions work, things like that. Now overall, I'm going to show you quick what comes in the box, just so you know. Of course, it comes with the drone body as we talked about. Now it comes with batteries and a smart charger. Now of course, depending upon the kit you order will depend upon how many batteries you get in the kit. Comes with all kinds of different cables to connect to your device, and also comes with, of course, extra props, tools to install them, and some owner's manuals. Did have a few quirks. The FPV did cut out a little bit during the flight once in a while, so I think, again, I did report that to EXO so that they can look at that. They said their engineers are aware of it and are working on those. So just like any new product, I'm sure that they're going to have all kinds of little bug fixes. Now the nice thing about that is they do have online firmware, so when you plug this in, it's already checking for firmware. It's already done, I think, 3 firmware updates since I've had it in the last couple of weeks, even though I haven't flown it that much. So they are on top of it, trying to fix all those little quirks. So make sure, of course, if you find any of those, report them, and they're likely to fix them in the next update. So that's really cool. And of course, I didn't do all the smart functions. This has way too many to do in one sitting. I'm going to do a separate video for that, so go ahead and make sure you watch to see when that comes out, because I'm going to go ahead and do all the creative modes, all the dronies and all the helix and all the different types of things. I'll put them in one video so you can see what they all look like and see if they work as well. So again, if you're not subscribed, make sure that you do so that you can see those when those come out. And for the price, I think it's pretty full featured. I'll put that price up here because of course there's different models and different prices based on what you get in the kit and different things like that. So I'll make sure I put that up here, but it seems to be a pretty full featured. And with that, of course, if you found anything of use and interest, make sure you click that like, really appreciate it. So until next time and next video, good flying.